Hello, kindergarten, and happy Wednesday. It is time for our brand new story. And today we're going to read a really fun story called Harold Finds a Voice. Again, it's called Harold Finds a Voice, and it's by Courtney Diemas. So as you can see at the cover, we see that our main character, his name is Harold, and he is a parrot. And Harold lives in a city called Paris, France. Sorry, he lives in Paris, which is in the country of France. So it's going to be in a very different setting than we're used to seeing sometimes in our stories. But we want to focus on a couple of different things as we listen to Harold Finds a Voice. We're going to be focusing today on character change, what a character is like at the beginning of a story and what they're like at the end of the story. So we're going to see how Harold changes in the story. And we also want to pay attention to his problem. What is his problem and how does he solve it? So again, we really want to focus in on how Harold changes in the story. Well, let's go ahead and begin to read Harold Finds a Voice. Deep in the heart of Paris, in apartment 4B, there lived a very clever parrot. And you can see in the picture, the illustration, there's a drawing of the Eiffel Tower. That lets you know that they are in Paris. His name was Harold. Harold was a very gifted bird. He could hear any sound just once and copy it perfectly. Ring, 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 ring. Burble, burble. Go, wee, frizz, frizz, ding. So he's repeating all the sounds that he hears in the apartment. The alarm bell, the TV, the blender, all the sounds. When Harold heard something beautiful, he simply couldn't resist the urge to repeat it. Vroom, vroom. He loved the sound of water most. Shh, flush, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hello, 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 hello. There was only one problem. Harold was tired of repeating the same old noises. So let's stop and think. Because remember, good readers always stop and think. So we want to be thinking about character change and what a character is like at the beginning of the story. So at the beginning of the story, we see that Harold listens to the sounds in the apartment and he repeats all of them. And he really, really likes repeating them. However, we notice that now there's a problem because the story just told us that he's tired of repeating the same old noises. Like sometimes you might get tired of doing the same old thing over and over again, or maybe you're tired of eating the same old thing over and over again. So he's kind of bored. He's like, you know what? I don't want to keep saying these sounds that I hear. He wants to hear new sounds. He wants to imitate or copy new sounds. So we're going to pay attention to how Harold tries to solve this problem. He often wondered what other sounds were out there. Early one morning, Harold saw a chance to find out and took it. Let's see what he does. Harold couldn't believe his ears. The world was full of beautiful sounds. Everything had its own voice. Flip, flap, flip, flap. Honk, beep, beep. Ding, beep. Honk, beep, beep. Vroom. There were big voices and small ones. Slurp. There were cheerful voices, plunka, plunka, plunk, and sad voices, oo-doo-doo-doo, and even soulful, sniffly voices. Sniff, 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 sniff. So thinking about Harold's problem, he was tired of repeating the same old noises. And how did he solve that problem? Well, his solution was to fly out of the apartment and start listening to all the sounds that he hears in the city. So again, he was listening to big sounds like this ship, and small sounds and all different types of sounds of music or animals or the sounds that people make. So that is how he solved his problem. He left the apartment and started to hear new sounds. It seemed that everything in the world had its own voice, except Harold. I must have my own voice, he thought. It's got to be in there somewhere. It's now or never, he decided. He took a deep breath and rock. Let's see what happens next. What was that? What a horrible noise. It doesn't seem like Harold feels too good about the sound that he just made. But then something wonderful happened. Flap, flip, flap, ronk, ronk, ronk. What a great voice, squawked the other parrots. We heard you from miles away. Clap, 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 clap. Bravo. That afternoon, Harold's new friends listened to all the voices he could make. They wanted to hear more and more and more. When it was time for dinner, Harold invited them back home. And here they come. Harold taught his friends to make all the voices from apartment 4B. Of course, Harold was still the best alarm clock. He made the best kettle noise. He was easily the best washing machine, and he was the best shower. So again, you see all the birds, they are making all the noises from the apartment. Wee, burble, flush, ring, ring, shh. But his own voice made him happiest of all. Rock. So again, we're focusing in on character change. And we don't just want to know what the character is like at the beginning of the story, but what they're like at the end. And at the end of the story, we see that Harold has found his own voice, and he really, really loves his own voice because the story just told us, but his own voice made him happiest of all. So he really, really enjoys having his own voice. So I hope that you really, really enjoy the story of Harold Finds a Voice. And again, we were paying attention to character change. What was Harold like at the beginning, and what was he like at the end? So at the beginning of the story, he was just repeating all the same noises that he heard all the time. And what was he like at the end? Well, he began to repeat new sounds, and also that he found his own voice and liked his own voice most of all. But what was his problem? The story told us that he did not like repeating the same old noises. And what was the solution? He went outside the apartment, flew around the city, and heard lots of new noises. And not only that, he found his own voice. So that was the solution to his problem. So again, at the beginning of the story, he was just repeating other noises. But at the end of the story, he wasn't only repeating new sounds, but he was able to use his own voice. So again, I really hope you enjoy this wonderful story of Harold Finds a Voice by Courtney Diemas. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.